Hey folks, my name's Phil. I create role-playing game supplements. I publish them online. We're doing some artwork here for the new supplement that we're going to create, Spelljammer Combat and Exploration. It is an expansion and deeper dive into space physics, fantasy genre space for the Spelljammer's Adventures in Space box set that Wizards have released in August 2022. We are expanding upon that to make it more... well, just to be more. So give me a second here to check my signal. If I'm coming through strong, then I'll go through my intro, and then we'll get to work here for 100 or some odd minutes. And then we'll get to work for here. Sounds like my signal is coming through a-okay. Give me a second here to set up boosts across the net, and I post on Reddit, Twitter, and Discord. So I will have a Discord set up probably by this time next week. For folks to check out what I got going on. So hold on real quick here. I am going to... okay, so if you're... I'm going to do my intro spiel. If you're here in the future after I streamed, hi in the future, I hope you're having a great time. You can skip ahead like a minute, and then you'll get through all my intro stuff, and then we'll just get into the meat of the artwork that we're doing today. But for anyone that hasn't been here before that's interested, or that's catching me live and is trapped in time with me, hey, my name is Phil Kearney. I create role-playing game supplements. I publish them online. I've been focusing my attention on Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition here for the past few years. I publish my work on DMsGuild.com. There are a slew of links in the description down below that will take you to different books that I've created. A lot of them are at a significant sale right now. 'Tis the season, yo. If you're interested in artwork, there's probably about 150 different illustrations in just the books that I have linked down below. If you're on DM's Guild regularly, you can type in Phil Kearney into the artists, and you'll see about 100 some odd projects that have used my stock art. So check out that stuff. If you like my work, of course, making a purchase is always greatly appreciated to help keep up this machine. Let's see, I just posted that I'm on Twitter, so if you're interested in, if you want to get links for when I'm live, catch early look-sees, articles and sketches that I'm doing, previews, blah, 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 you can follow me on Twitter X if you're still on the platform, at Phil Kearney. Thanks for everyone that supports and gives good wishes. Let's see, best way to help this channel overall is like, subscribe, hit the bell icon, get notifications when I'm live in the future. We're here 6 days a week, and I publish a prefabricated video that I post on Sunday. So technically you get feed from me 7 days a week, up to 12 times at various times during the day. Let's see. So we're at episode 277 now of this stream. We created this book cover back around episode 15. So if you wanted to jump into the Wayback Machine here for the full playlist, you can go check out episode 15 when we created this book cover. So let's see. We create role-playing games, we illustrate them, we publish them online. So when I have an idea like fast-paced 5e combat for vehicles of 500 feet or so, then you have to play test it. If it works well, we'll then build it. We'll flesh out the text, hire an editor to help make sure the words are smart. When it gets sent back to me, I will then do. I'll then break down the text into different ideas per page in layouts. I use Microsoft Word. It's cheap but highly effective to use. So as you can see, all these blank spaces in the text as we break up ideas into individual ideas. This is where all the illustrations can go. So I can then pluck this. Yuck it! I can pluck this as a separate page. I can then come over here into Photoshop. I can drop it into Photoshop. Excuse me. And hairball. I illustrate it. When I finish all the illustrations, I then go back into the Word document and put them all in as transparent background PNGs. I can then fuse the document into a PDF and publish it online and give you guys a thick preview for you to consider. There's also 80 tokens, like 10 maps, all the tokens of all the different ships at the 500, 50, and 5-foot scale for you to have scaling ship combat. All the NPCs, creatures, and ship tokens that you need for Light of Zaraxis to run the adventure, as well as Boo's Creature Menagerie. Across all of that, there's probably about 80 tokens that are included in a zip file with this, and of course the maps and stuff to be able to run the combats for Light as Araxis are included as well as system maps like Doom, like Doom Space, Rack Space, Realm Space. They're included as well. And the back 20 pages of this 106-page document, the first 80 some odd pages are like combat, exploration, world building, random generators, all these different crunchy mechanics that you can use to make your space physics more consistent, for you to have enough rules to create your own rulings and have consistency in your own campaign, using this as a guiding light if you wish. But the last 25 pages is a conversion guide for Light as Araxis, so that you can see how all of these mechanics can be used in an adventure. Light as Araxis was the flagship, or the showcase adventure that Wizards published with Spelljammer's Adventures in Space to specifically demonstrate how a campaign would look like. So, logically, we create a 25-page guide to convert that adventure using all of our mechanics. And we'll go through all that stuff once it publishes for you to check it out. Rearrange my chair. And let's see, I've got a timer going here. What is it? 6:16 here in the real world. Normally I'm able to cough up enough fur balls by this point when I wake up to be clear of anything. Hold on, mic check again. Be clear of it. Okay, cool. It sounds like I'm coming through. All right, cool. So yeah, we got about 100 minutes we're going to play this morning. We are currently working on the Eldritch Cannon. Let's see. Oop, we already locked up. Congratulations. Okay, so OBS software that we use. This is a pretty common screen for folks that stream. That's an Adobe, which I use for Photoshop. They do not get along. And when there's a tech fight going on inside the CPU, it will be OBS that wins. Luckily, I can still save my document and relaunch it. We should be okay now. Let's lean into this. There we go. Cool. That's way too much. I'm pretty happy with her. I think we'll leave this at that. That is solid enough for me to be able to further develop. So I can drop this out of the way. Bum, 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 bum. Actually, I'm going to follow my own advice and keep all that shred there. Yeah, I'm going to keep all this added texture here on purpose. Hey, Nitro. It's good to see you here this morning, my man. So I stream 6 days a week. In the mornings like this, we do Spelljammer combat and exploration artwork. Mondays and Thursday nights, including tonight, we do token art and map production for the Eberron adventure that we are publishing. That will also be on the DMsGuild when finished. On Mondays, Tuesdays, and typically Fridays, including this week, tomorrow, we work on martial powers. And then on Saturday, I either do commissions or personal projects or whatever it is that additional stuff I have, or like, extra production time for anything that may need it. This Saturday, so martial powers is developed enough to the point where I can start actually building the point crawl campaign, the Ravnica Rubble Belt crawl campaign to playtest the martial power system, starting at level 3. I'm really excited. We added in a ton of tech last night in a fit of inspiration. So definitely check out tomorrow's martial power stream to see what it is that we've got going on, because I'm pretty freaking excited about where we are at with the project in general. But last night's tech that we added on, I think, is just chef's kiss. I'll hold off talking about it to give you guys incentive to show up tomorrow. So like, subscribe, hit the bell icon to see the bleeding edge of 5e game design right here on this little nobody knows who I am stream. Phil Kearney. Let's distort. I see some text kicking on over there, my bud. Hold on. Let me get to token art for the Eberron adventure tonight. Nice. You bet it is. We're going to finish up the living grave picture that I was working on last time. It's a Cronenberg pile of flesh that is basically a gauntlet-style monster generator that, until you actually eliminate the living grave blob itself, it can still spit out ghouls, wights, and, well, probably not wights, ghouls and zombies at least, ghouls, zombies, and skeletons. But yeah, it's a great thing to leave on your doorstep at Halloween. And yeah, we'll finish illustrating that. We're almost done with the incidental tokens, so we'll finish up sketching them. And then we will swing back through and do the detail line work. Once that's done, we'll colorize everything. If you want to see that process, you can actually check. I think it's around episode 200, maybe it's 160 of this stream. Now I'm curious. Hold on. Here's my playlist. Let's see. This started off as the In Command project, where we were testing vehicle mechanics for Descent into Avernus. And when Eberron dropped, we realized that it's basically the same mechanics that we had come up for Mad Max Convoy combat. All we had to do was upscale it times 10. So once we figured that out, then we had to do all the retcon and iterative collateral impact on mechanics to make sure it all fleshed out properly. Here's all the fighter craft token creation. Here's all the vessel ship creation. Here we go, NPC token creations. Looks like it started on page. Which one is this? Episode 93, 94, 95, 96. Yeah, episode 96. So you can jump into the Wayback Machine and check out 96 through like 160 something for us finishing all those tokens. So you can see the token creation process by checking out this stream here. There was also NPC tokens as plot hook generators that we were creating in Eberron as well, which is like up to I want to say like 180 some odd episodes as well. The stuff I create isn't quick to make, which is even more important for me to stream it, because fatigue and burnout on large projects is a real issue. So honestly, showing up daily to do streams or to push the ball forward for on any projects I'm working on is just, if you take enough steps, your project gets finished. It eventually gets finished no matter what. I've never worked on a project this large with such a workload, so it's taken me a lot long. It's taken me about 4 months longer than I expected it to. But I didn't know. I didn't know until you don't know until you know, you know. Have you done tokens for the plot hook dependent characters that pop up in Act 2 and 3? No, I have not. I still have to do like all the Emerald Clawing characters, the Red Wolf mercenary characters, as well as like the constable in the Thorpe Hope, as well as the mayor. So yeah, that's the next set of tokens that we'll do. What we'll do is we'll finish off the monster random encounter tokens. We'll then go back into map production and finish off some of these little random encounter vignettes, and then we'll flip back around and we'll create NPC. We'll create NPC tokens for all the incidental characters that are happening throughout the adventure. So we probably have, I don't even know how many tokens there's going to be for that, but it's fun as hell to make them, so I really don't mind. Give me another second here to clear this out of the way. All right, cool. So that should be enough production here. Dear. Beep, 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 beep. Let's go with that. And that goes there. That goes there. We can merge this down. Probably afford to merge that down. Oh, no, I cannot afford to merge that down. There it is. There's my rough chunk. This I can. How are we doing here? Yeah, that feels good. Okay. Just getting my bearings. There's that, and... I think there's text happening down there, Nitro. Hold on. Nope. Same as it ever was. Jumping shadows. Once I finish this illustration, I will then be able to build another 10-some minute promo video that I can post on, everywhere. But for another Sunday feed. Basically, I'm looking for Sunday content. So each week, I'm hoping to have an illustration done. I'm breaking off like very, very small pieces of this to create as videos, basically as promotion stuff, but also just to rant about ideas more in depth than what the book itself does. Partially to build hype. Hype for myself, hype for anyone that's been checking it out, and to draw in more eyes. Thanks a lot to the Reddit community, by the way. If you're catching me from Reddit, I really appreciate all of the upvote and interest in the stuff that we're making here. It's just the beginning. There is as I finish this project, like anyone else that what's the word I'm supposed to be using? Anyone else? That's irrelevant. Anyone else is irrelevant. What am I trying to say? Hold on real quick. Let me get this band built. Okay. Oh my god, the itchiness. What is your ultimate sandwich? What is my ultimate sandwich? Just thought I should ask. Would give me something to share, to stare at while I'm trying to plot that. Yeah, no, I haven't created individual NPCs yet. My favorite sandwich. Oh my god. I used to be a Reuben addict. Love the Reuben sandwich. Roast beef, sauerkraut, Thousand Island dressing on toasted rye with Swiss cheese. That was the bee's knees for me all throughout, basically into my 20s. Technically, a hamburger is a sandwich, but I think that's kind of a cop-out. I am a big burger fan. I had a vegan era for a few years. After I got hit by that truck, I dropped off. I lost interest in meat for a while, as well as alcohol and fun in general. I eventually snapped out of it when I realized that I'm still alive, so I deserve to treat myself well, and instead of paying some sort of imaginary debt that I had for still being alive. It was a weird space I was in, but massive trauma will do that to you. So, cheers. But sandwiches these days, oh boy, oh boy. I think honestly, anything that's bread, meat, cheese, lettuce, tomato, pickles, onion, and then a lid. It could be a chicken breast. It could be cod. It could be bologna. I'm not picky. When I go to Jimmy John's is right next door to where I live, so it's easy for me to grab a sandwich from them. And when I do, it's roast beef and Swiss. When I go to Subway and get a sandwich, more often than not, it's going to be the veggie patty, the veggie delight on toast. Let's see if I am I just had a Moons Over My Hammy on Sunday with my gal. I would say Moons Over My Hammy is my favorite go-to for, hold on real quick, I think I see a flaw here. No, where are you at? Oh, okay, that makes sense. Yeah, there it is. Yep, Moons. I'll just lock in Moons Over My Hammy with. Oh my God, Denise has jalapenos. They're like little pickled jalapenos. They're offering on anything that you want now. So I had them cook jalapenos into the scrambled eggs that's put on the sandwich, and holy shit, that was a game changer. Man, I love jalapeno. That's for sure. Extra Swiss. And jalapeno on that's my new configuration. So let's say for now, Moons Over My Hammy from Denny's is my favorite sandwich, my ultimate sandwich. There you go. Subject to change, of course, as always is the case in sandwiches. The sandwich culture is a fickle thing. Thanks for asking. Now I'm starving. Would you rather have tomatoes, pickles, or both? I feel they contribute something similar. I like the brininess of pickles, but that can be simulated with ketchup. That same salty sweetness is basically ketchup. So pickles aren't necessary, but at that same the juice. I like the juiciness that you get from. Wait for it. The juiciness that tomatoes give, I think, is important because it helps keeping the sandwich overall from being too dry in that case. The pickles add a nice brininess to it, especially if you don't want to add ketchup. Like a fish sandwich feels weird with ketchup, but it feels great with pickles. So I'd say I'd say there you go. that's my stance. That's Allstate's stance. Get out of the way, scallywag. Although I will say the local local gas station has a there's a sandwich company called I think it's Cascade Sandwiches. It's a mom and pop operation that just basically builds sandwiches and then brings them out each week to different convenience stores, and they have a roast beef cheddar sandwich on an onion bun, and that's all there is to it. Few bucks in the cooler section. Grab a couple of those, and then I'll spruce them up with whatever I have laying around here. I'm also a really big tortilla enthusiast. I like cooking stir fry or eggs or just skillet some veggies and whatever else I want to have go with it, and then just dump it into like 2 or 3 tortillas and make that a meal for the day. I've been for people that are keeping up with me on weight gain / loss. When I got really sick a couple weeks ago, I don't eat and I get really dehydrated because I sleep so much. So I ended up dropping down to 216 pounds, about 5 pounds in a week, which is not unusual if I just skip food. Sometimes I do that on purpose if I really want to ramp up my weight loss. But using one meal a day, I can typically lose half a pound. But I'm at that 20-pound mark right now. I'm at 220. Today I was 221. And this is starting from 245 in September. So I've had a good 25-pound loss over the past few months, and that's not unexpected. That's about I can lose 10 pounds a month if I'm diligent, but we're in the holiday season right now, which is antithetical to diligence. And once I saw this before, once I get down around 220, the amount of calories I need to drop weight starts to decrease. So it becomes more and more difficult because, like, while I'm in the 240s, 230s, I can clip in like around 1,500 calories a day, which is plenty of food for a 6-foot fill. And be satiated and be content with the amount of food that I eat. But for me, in the 220s range, it needs to drop down to like around 1,200 calories a day. And that starts to get into cranky space because it's not a lot of food. If all I eat are salads, I can eat like 3 bags of those like prepackaged salad kits that they sell at grocery stores. So about 3 of those is about 1,200 calories, but that's about as much as I can eat in a day to be able to have consistent half-pound weight loss, like a pound every 2 or 3 days. Basically, is what it boils down to. So I'm shifting gears, and it's more difficult as I shift those gears. When I drop down to like when I get around the 200-pound mark and I push myself down to 185, I'll probably be like around 600 calories a day to be able to maintain that momentum. I would like to back off the throttle a little bit, I think, and see about if I sustain myself at if I maintain 1,500 calories a day. And the real secret is not spreading it out over the day, having it all in one go. So you have basically, if I give myself a 2-hour window, like from 10 till 12 for brunching, if I stay inside that window, I will lose weight, assuming that I keep my calorie intake around 1,500 or less. But as I eat less food during my breakfast, which is break fast, ironic. If I break fast with 1,500 or less calories, I know I will eventually lose weight. But the issue is that as I have less calorie intake during my meal, the more I'm tempted to have another meal because there wasn't nearly as much calorie going in for my reptile body to process. Imagine alternatives of this guy firing the weapon. Hold on. Let's get this over so I can see all the text. I still haven't figured out the Windows. The OBS system doesn't like me presetting text windows to be off the screen, so I have to reset the damn thing every time. Have you ever heard of mushroom? I've never heard of mushroom ketchup. Can research. I want to grab this. See how we're sitting. I am an image conjured in my head of him knocking it. Let's be here. Yeah, there is a way that I mean I could build it so like it's a frame that bonds into the wall like this. So like it's, or I could build it so it like hangs over, but I just like the drum. The drum is simple, and this is going to be a railing anyway, so it's not like you're going to see it's going to be concealed by, slats. So the drum isn't a very high priority. Merge this down. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with that angle. Come on, chick. Where you at, dude? There we are. Hey, Karen. I'm imagining alternatives of this guy firing the orb weapon. I've got an image conjured in my head. Yeah, I'd be down. Like, the default damage is force, but if you're just pumping cantrips through it, you could change the damage type to fire or cold or whatever it is that you're using. Another idea in my brain is that one pilot that wants the weapon to fire quickly. It's the ancestors of our modern one. It was made back in the 1800s. 1800s. I'm still continuing. Oh yeah, right on. Yeah, it's honestly it's the restriction of time I find most effective, because if you only eat once a day, you're basically, your insulin turns off about 2 hours after you finish eating, and the longer your insulin stays turned off, the more after the insulin turns off, you have basically an hour or so before the body starts shifting gear into the liver pumps out chemicals to start extracting energy from fat cells, and it hates doing that. So it releases ghrelin, which is the I'm hungry chemical. So that's why, like, around 4 hours after you eat, you're almost always guaranteed to have hunger again. It's because your insulin's turned off, and now it's hitting the red line for we're about to start taking food out. We're going to start eating our own body to create energy, and we don't want that to happen. So we're going to release this hunger element to trick you into hunting more, because you're going to die. Because the natural creature would perhaps only be able to hunt and catch enough food to like berries and stuff like that can be for casual eating, but you might have to, like, if you're chasing a deer or like a cougar or something for food, men would have to, or mankind would basically have to chase after it over the course of an entire day until they could finally catch up and stab it so that it bleeds out while it continues to try to run away from the hunters. The one, I've watched videos about this, so I'm not completely talking out of my ass, but apparently the real huge advantage that humanity had that pulled us ahead from all the other creatures way back in the day, before we knew how to build, weapons and security and stuff like that. Well, I mean, we were starting to build weapons to defend ourselves, but before we, what I meant to say was, before we started agriculture and we were still strictly hunter-gathering, was our ability to carry water. by having basically water skins to transport water with, it meant that we could maintain a slow, steady pace all day, while whatever it is that we're hunting after has to stop to eat and has to stop to drink and to cool down, while we can just maintain a steady pace and keep track, literally, of its tracks, where it's going, and we could eventually catch up with it. Then you barb it with a spear or some addles, like some javelin throws, to start the bleed effect. And now it's starting to dehydrate and get weaker, so it moves slower, and it requires more water. If it doesn't just get an infection and flat out die, then that's how we could then scoop it up. So that was our big our big tactical advantage in the animal kingdom, was not so much smart as just our ability to carry food and water with us. So why was I talking about that? Oh, that's right, because our body was designed to potentially not actually have any real calorie intake for days at a time. So it developed this insulin and warning system with the ghrelin. And also, interestingly enough, if you go 3 or 4 days without food, your body starts pumping out. I forget what the chemicals are called, but they're basically sharp. They sharpen you. They create. It creates some sort of a manufacturing enzyme in your body so that you produce muscle mass quicker. You actually have like advantage on. It's like the opposite of a fatigue effect in D&D. You become smarter, sharper, faster, stronger, and you process food more efficiently because your body's like, okay, this chump's gonna die. So we're really gonna have to throw in anything we possibly can to keep that from happening. So it starts juicing up, basically super soldiers you with the intent that if we juice up this guy's stats for a little while, you'll be able to land a meal and get food, because you wouldn't have, large body fat storage. You just never had the opportunity. You were constantly burning it off trying to find your next meal. So not having any calories and having to eat your own body fat to lose to keep power going was a significant threat at the time. We've obviously technology has outpaced evolution in that sense. So now we have a bunch of programs running through our body that don't serve the purpose. They still do what they're supposed to do. It's just that it's not necessary. What was it that when you can kill yourself from diabetes by pressing a button, your culture has gotten to the point where it needs to think about sharing resources amongst itself instead of hoarding resources? That's an interesting point to make. And I think there's text happening that I'm not attending to. So give me a second here to get through this gun nuzzle. Let's do that. Bolts here. I don't want to do that. I see more text. Hold on. I'm inattentive today. Karen, how you been? It's good to see you around. Townsend's YT channel has the recipe. I've been wanting to make it. Ooh. Hold on. We got talk going on here. Still continuing. Carcount is still having weight loss. Imagine Conjured. I had him knocking it over. Another idea in my brain is that one pilot can only one weapon to fire more quickly. I've been wanting to make it. Make what? I missed something. Ancestors of our modern one. Card count is helping. Yeah, oh, god damn it. Fucking chat. Window. Suck. Karen, what are you talking about? It sounds like a food item of some sort, but I'm not catching it. Oh, mushroom ketchup. That's what we're talking about. Holy crap. Yeah. That is our superpower. Innovation is our superpower. There is, oh my god, there's, okay, apparently I can get away with playing videos, and I guess YouTube considers it to be fair commentary because it's not all my, like, hardly anything in my video. Like I played the intro for Thundar the Barbarian tomorrow, and I didn't get flagged. So you have just inspired me. Give me a second here. Let's open another window here, and this is my favorite. One of my favorite commercials. We still going? Let me double check because I just heard a doop thing going on. Mic check going on. Okay, cool. Like, subscribe, bell icons if you're checking out the channel. Love you guys. Join the Ager. Yes, Razine. I think this is it. Please rate your experience with YouTube so far. Yeah, it's been pretty good. Thanks. Here we go.
What is a Jaeger? A Jaeger is the pinnacle of human invention. When the monsters came, we did not wait for heroes to fall from the sky and save us. We saved ourselves. Innovation is our superpower. What is a Jaeger? It's you, times 1,000. Tall as a mountain, with a beating heart that burns as bright as the sun.
Then it gets stupid. But yes, innovation is our superpower. We didn't wait for heroes to fall from the sky. We saved ourselves. I fucking love that. That is just one of the most inspiring. It's just a stupid commercial, and it's just a little shtick. But that shit inspires me, man. Like, that is, to me, that is truth. Let's get my windows fixed. Sorry, I had to share that real quick. And I am very much looking forward to creating the Jaeger, Gundam, Evangelion, Valkyrie, Battletech, Mecha expansion for this once this publishes. Because like I said before, the only difference between a mecha and our fighter craft is the shape of the object. Everything is literally the same. You can use a slashing ram as a massive glaive. Like if you have a 40-foot Jaeger, you could use the statistics of the spiderling and just repaint it so that it's a humanoid shape instead of a spider shape. And instead of having 8 spear weapons, you can just give it a single glaive. So it does 48 slashing damage, and then you could like use a bonus action or whatever to ramp up to being use a bonus action like a smite to do siege damage with the weapon. But otherwise, it's identical. You can slow it down if you don't want to give it flight, so it can't fly 1,000,000 miles per day. Instead, it could be limited to like maybe 100 miles per round. Something like that if you wanted to, or like even 1 mile per round if you really wanted to scale it down. I think that feels pretty good. I like the idea of this thing just kind of floating. Innovation is our superpower. See what you want about the franchise. That's a fucking cool commercial. Gold star for using the GLaDOS voice from Portal. That shit inspires me. Jaegers and Kaijus, man, and then we can go back to Bigby's Might of the Giants and actually build 500-foot giants like they have on the book cover, and then Storm King's Thunder. We can have mecha that get like you have like giant suits that the king has on his flying castle as means for human nation envoy to be able to shake hands at the scale of giants, so they load into mecha suits for negotiations. But they still have some in the bay, so when you start flying from region to region to fight dragons during the adventure and the hex crawl, the flying citadel gets within range, and then it just distributes your characters in these mecha suits, so you can fight dragons at the 50-foot scale. So you can have 200, 500, 1,000-foot dragons and be able to fight them with mega-sized weapons instead of using the spoiler alert that they provide at the end of the adventure. Instead, by having a system that actually facilitates that fantasy. Furthermore, in addition, we could take like there's the fire giant fortress as the sample adventure to help showcase Bigby's giant might. Again, we could use mecha suits to roll in the size of giants and battle them at their own scale. And then you can just recalibrate giants to use our kaiju mechanics that we have here in the book in the exploration chapter. Which may technically, it's in the exploration chapter, but it can be extrapolated with creatures. Like it talks about, here's the scaling for hit points for creatures, and damage is coming off of the ship mechanics, but it's not specifically spelled out as like it's not packaged all together into a chapter creating kaiju monsters. It's broken between scaling creatures and object sizes in the exploration chapter when we're building random stuff. And then there's the creatures menagerie, where it's taking the creatures that already exist and offering them at scaled size. But they're not specifically fused together and handed to you as like, here's kaiju and mecha. That will be the expansion. Probably like a 20-page expansion of this, where here's all the mechanics exist in the book on page blah, 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 blah. Here's the hyperlink for you to go check it out yourself in a free preview. The product itself will be, now that thing exists, we can then extrapolate that information and distill it specifically for kaiju and mecha using the same rules that are in this book. Here is a quick guide on building mecha. Here are upgrades. I probably won't publish that until the Martial Powers book is out. So we'll be able to have mecha pilots using a mana power system for them to juice up different maneuvers and strike effects to use while piloting mecha. Have a couple different examples and show off where at different adventures that Wizards already published where you can use those mechanics, and we'll end up playtesting those scenarios. So we'll probably run Big B's Fire Giant scenario. We'll probably run some Storm King Thunder, just to get enough proof of concept under our belt for me to build out another map and publish it as a side piece. But that's what I do. I build a flagship idea project, and then I start building expansions and iterations and riffs and tangents off of that project. And then I curve them together. So like the Martial Powers project can enter the Color Mana Spell Point Variant Rule Bundle. Martial Powers can then be married with the Spelljammer's Combat and Exploration, and then have the Kaiju and Mecha Combat piece tie those two things together. And we can just continue iterating stuff. Kaldheim is not an MTG setting that is approved on the DMsGuild, but I could create Kaldheim Mecha for the Dwarven clans. And I could publish that on my Patreon if I wanted to. If I decided that if Kaldheim is never going to get published, then I may as well, right? The problem is I don't know what Wizards is going to do in the future, and I don't know. Honestly, hold on. I think I like that. I think I'm content with this. It's going to have a little glow effect on it. It's just a floating ball with energy in it that's framed by this, basically by this binding here. Let's do that. Yeah, we're done with sketching. So we're going to move into, I guess we'll move into color. Maybe I'll just do some cleanup. Nah, let's do color. If we can get to color, we should do color. So let's start just blocking in color, and we can do cleanup on the back end. It'll take a little bit longer on the back end if we do it that way, but I feel like color is the next natural step for this piece. So I want to respect the process. Nitro, you were talking about inspiration of this guy firing off a lot of rounds. Hold on real quick. Where are we at? Craft tokens. So Elven Flitters come pre-built. Here's the helm. Here's the interior. So you have, I need to switch out the side icons here, but this is where the pilot would be. Here between the two eye windows, and within 5 feet is the Eldritch Cannon icon. So if you occupy the space or adjacent to the space that a mounted weapon is in, you can use it. So a pilot can sit and fire an Eldritch Cannon out of the nose of the ship. So, and the Eldritch Cannon can fire as frequently as you have attack actions, or you could use a bonus action to fire it again if you really wanted to. But that's your action economy. So you could use that, and then you can just use your object interaction to move your ship. But if you're going to eat up all of your attacks, if you're going to eat up all your action economy making attacks with a mounted weapon, then all you have left over is basically your move action for up to 5 squares. And if you try to outscale, if you try to yeet out of combat by like basically hitting jamming speed at thousands of miles per round, then you'll risk inertia shock and potentially stun yourself for a round, dropping your shields, leaving your ship completely open to destruction. So you have to be really confident that you're going to hit that inertia burst if you're going to try to yeet out of combat. And then the Cuttlefish is the other, the Illithid ship, which is technically within 5 feet, although it's at a different, it's on on this little stairway here, but it has the same window here to be able to then use Eldritch Cannon here as an Illithid. So the Illithid would be doing psychic damage with it, of course. It's just fucking hardcore. Have these little things chasing after you. But yeah, all those tokens are included with this as well. Yeah, I'm happy with that. I think that looks pretty cool. So let's go there. Next thing we want to do is start coloring in. So let's go. Let's go fishing. Was it, where the fuck was that? Was it an exploration? Oh, that's gonna be a slow load. By this time next week, we should have a Discord channel up for us to start talking about the playtesting for the Martial Power System, as well as just as a touchstone for this and the Color Mana projects. How's everything been changing? Almost, yeah, Christmas will be here, and I'm not ready. Oh no, you have family and stuff that you need to be worried about? What humanity lost the physical attributes, so we gain intelligence, hence innovation. Innovation, there you go. Let's see. There's not a lot of illustrations in the exploration chapter. Damn. Nope, not the right one. Maybe it was in spellcasting? It wasn't in hazards. Yeah, let's go. What was it at the beginning, end of the... Oh no, it's in the oh that's right. It's in the combat section. Hold on. I know what I'm looking for. Hold on. I swear I know what I'm doing. Let's see. Interior pages, combat, done. Front end, maybe here. Yeah, this is exactly the picture I was looking for. Whoop. Because this has good coloration on it for the weapons and deck. Actually, you know what would be a better illustration? For those of you that hadn't seen this one before, here you go. I was pretty proud of this one. See, these Spiderling mech, they're 40 feet in size. You could easily just make this humanoid shaped, and all of these legs can act as piercing rams, and they do like 1d8, 2d8, 3d8. Yeah, they do 48 piercing damage per hit. I mean, look, they're the size of a person. Like, that would punch this guy in half. So there's no way you'd survive that. So the damage scaling is appropriate, but it's not such a huge threat to like 140, 200-foot ships, right? But this is not the illustration that I actually need. Thank you, Timely Timer, for keeping me on time. Let's go to... There we go. I'm gonna grab this just in case. It's the right thing to do. Not every illustration is a home run. Let's just be honest about that. This picture is serviceable, but it is not my most amazing work. I am slightly sad that it is the front picture for the combat chapter, but I think it proves the point of the piece. I might come back and fuck with that one a little bit more, like get the contrast up on these guys here. I just feel like that can be a little bit better. But I mean, at some point you just got to cut your losses, and not every MTG card is going to be a fucking $50 sale. So let's see. I can get basic coloration here. Let's go with Flinger, Line, Eldritch, Eldritch Cannon, Line, we're just blocking, we're framing right now. We're just blocking in color so that we have something that's easily selected. So I could then like change the color within, like, and stay between the lines, you know. So right now we're just blocking it in with the most generic color that we have, which is the painted wood color that we're using for these weapons. Tilt my screen along the edge here. Good. We'll eventually paint the stream over that, but we're not there yet. Almost there. Stay on target. So we'll block it in with this color. We'll then fish out a metallic color for us to do the base frame with. So it'll be a mix of wood and metal. And then we'll have like a mix of wood, metal, crystal, and energy over here. I don't think I've shown it off, but one of the things that I absolutely love about this reload system that we're using. So the sequence of attack is basically aim, fire, reload. That's the action. That's the sequence of actions when you're using the command die. Because the weapon has to already be loaded for you to fire it. So the beginning of the round of combat, the beginning of the action of commanding a siege weapon to fire is aim, fire. And then if you roll well enough on your command die, you automatically reload. So what I really, 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 really love is, I lost track of it while I was talking because I'm a derp. Here we go. Ammunition. Fucking love this. All right, so here's the rules on like how much ammunition weighs per ton and then the cost of per ton for creating these things in the first place. And then there's the actual ammunition. So we have foraging ammunition, like how to craft and create bolts to fire from weapons, how to harvest and gather stones, and then there's special animation. And the special ammunition has reload modifiers. I fucking love this. So ammunition that can be that has a reload modifier increases the reload score of the siege weapon. In addition to normal ammunition, special ammunition can be used with ranged ship weapons. Reload modifier. Ammunition that has a reload modifier increases the reload score of the siege weapon when used. For example, when the mangonel with a reload score of 5 uses shrapnel flak with a +2 reload modifier, the mangonel reload score increases to 7. When a harpoon flinger with a reload score of 1 uses a piercing bolt with no reload modifier and a towing cable with a +2 reload modifier, the harpoon flinger reload score increases to 3. So while you fire, you reload. If you're going to use this modified siege weapon, you have the ammunition. You're clipping on these special pieces of ammunition so you can fire with them during your attack action. And then here's the description for each of them. The flaming bolts, reload scores +1 when you deal damage. Using this ammunition, a 1x1 fire, a 5-foot fire occupying a 5-foot square starts aboard the ship at a location of your choice that you can see as detailed in the hazard section below. Basically, you're firing a flaming bolt. It hits, and then it'll deal. There's like basically 5 damage that it deals as a kicker effect, and then if that's enough damage, if the ship fails its Constitution saving throw, or if the pilot fails the Constitution saving throw for the ship, then a small fire starts, and then we have the fire mechanics as a hazard of how quickly it will destroy your ship with damage per round, how quickly it spreads, and how fast does it eat your air supply so that your clean air becomes poisoned or poison becomes foul. Foul and then deadly, sorry. And then, so it's the increasing the reload score. Towing cable. When you deal damage using the ammunition, the target is grappled as though the ammunition is a piercing ram with a reach equal to the length of the cable. So that's just a fun way for you to have, like, grappling is when you grab hold of the ship, and then if your ship is strong enough, it can pull and drag or tow a ship. Or it can, at minimum, prevent it from moving if it's the same scale. Like a 50-foot scale fighter craft can tow or grapple a 50-foot creature or ship or smaller, while a vessel, which can be up to 500 feet in size, can grapple, tow, or otherwise stop a ship or creature of a similar size. Stone ammunition, burning pitch. When you deal damage using this ammunition, add an additional 20 fire damage, and a 2x2 fire starts at any location you can see aboard the ship as detailed in the hazard section below. Shrapnel flak. Instead of dealing damage when using this ammunition, the target rolls with disadvantage against inertia shock until the end of its next turn. The shrapnel is causing distractions for the pilot flying through the shrapnel, so it gives them disadvantage. You drop shrapnel so that you can jump away. You have to make a Constitution saving throw to resist the inertia shock of changing momentum suddenly to escape a battle. So if you have a target, if you have an enemy ship that's pursuing you, and you starburst out of there, and your pursuer wants to starburst after you, if you dump shrapnel flak on them before you yeet out, when they try to pursue you, again, they'll have to also to stay within range of you, to pace your movement, they're going to also have to make an inertia save. And if they fail the inertia save, they stall out, get stunned for the round, and you basically get a round of lead time on them to potentially escape. So there you go, disadvantage. And then the Tanglefoot Tar, reload score +1. Instead of dealing damage using this ammunition, choose a 10-foot square you can see. This area becomes difficult terrain for 10 minutes and starts a 10x10 fire automatically if the area takes fire damage. So you're basically dumping Greek oil on somebody. So that's the idea there. You can add kicker effects by increasing the reload score, which is the way that we sequence is you aim, fire, and then reload. But that reload of the action sequence is part of firing. So that reload score, which happens in the future of reloading, is kind of part of the ammunition that you use to fire during that round. So you're technically the action is load, modify ammunition, aim, fire, reload the next shot, and that command die is the reload die, is modifying the ammunition that you modified during the attack and your ability to reload afterwards. So it's kind of in parentheses that all of these things get processed before you move on to your next attack. I know it's a little out of sequence, but it still works. So there you go. And then we go into squadrons and fleets and we start fucking around with that stuff. But yeah, I'm really happy with this. When we do expansion, when we do weapon expansions in the future, like maybe in the mecha expansion, maybe I'll just like a 5-page pay what you want tear out of this to expand on it, just to have basically a kicker coupon to put out siege weapon stuff. But that reload modifier becomes something that we can consistently lean on to have, because the higher your reload score is, the less likely you are to attack again that round. And having to eat up all your action economy to reload the weapons instead of attacking. So, giving you added benefit, the action economy. You'll see this with the Martial Powers project tomorrow. Tomorrow on Friday, because we have the new tech that we've added that I'm excited to talk about, and I'm going to avoid talking about right now. But we already know for the Martial Powers project, like, you can exchange attacks during an attack action. For every attack that you sacrifice, you gain a free point of temporary mana that you can then pump into a strike effect. So you could, like an 11th level fighter could attack 3 times, potentially miss 2 of them and deal whatever weapon damage. Or if you hit with your first attack, you can sacrifice your remaining 2 attacks, gain 2 free points of mana, and basically cast, channel a 2nd rank strike power for extra 2 dice of damage plus weapon effect as part of that one attack. So you're rolling less dice for attacks, you're rolling more dice for damage, and you're automatically adding in the condition modifier of whatever strike it is that you're using. And so this ammunition is kind of the same way. You're adding in an effect, but instead of it costing you extra mana, like to cast a spell through your weapon, you're using your reload action economy, the chance of failing that, to pay the mana cost for doing a thing. That's the idea behind it anyway. That's the gist of it. I'm going to actually do this too. Fuck it, let's block it in. There we go. You know what? First things last, man. I just realized that I need to resolve the background color before I start painting these guys in, because that's going to impact what color I put on these guys' outfits, hair, skin color, and the actual color of these machines. So I'm going to go ahead and just finish this blocking here since we're almost done with it. But then we have to shift gears. We have to work on the background. So let's do that. And we can do cool lighting effects like the energy blast effect, like lighting this up here. Like that, you know. That'll affect the lighting. But yeah, we have to resolve the background first, because that sets the frame for everything that's going to happen with this. Okay, so let's do that. Background. There. Hey, what's up? Yes, there's a wall there's a wall in front of them. A railing here, so we'll have limited visibility here. Floor color, we'll probably go with this. And then like that. And then rail, line, something this-ish. Let's go with ship. Let's hide our reference here real quick. We'll do more of this bleed effect. And then we'll see how much we have to paint over on the ground from there. I mean, it's a fun way to frame, not frame. Like we can block all of this out, so that the railing has a hard cut at the edge here. But as we go up and fade into the picture, the background bleeds into the picture itself. This is an effect that we've been playing with basically since we were working on the exploration chapter, and this means of blending the border into the picture has really been a lot of fun for me. I can just push this up in here, and then we'll just block it off when we're done with a masking layer. The problem with doing high detail like this is I have to think about the background and what's going on, right? So I don't necessarily want to do that so much. So I need to... Thank you, Timely Timer. What time is it anyway? It's, oh my god, it's only 7:30? Fucking A, dude. All right, we got it. This is our last 20-minute block, but we're making good progress here. So what is it that I'm going to need to do to make this happen? First off, just work the plan and fade it out. pretty good. Nom, 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 nom. That, and then this is a quick mock-up. Skew like that. I can merge those down. I can free transform and skew those, and that means that this needs to change. All right. Bum, dum, dum, bum, 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 dum, dum, bum, bum. I can potentially just increase the size of these things so that it like effectively zooms in to have less stuff to worry about. But so far, that's not bad framing. The perspective's a little off, but where are you at? Man, give me what I want, what I really, really want, what I want, what I want, what I want, what I want. There. Dump it. Yep. Floor color? Yep. Wall? Yep. Oops, no, I don't want to do it that way. I want to have a separate layer. Thank you. How we do? Block that in like that. And drop in some stars and some wash effects there. But what we need to do is block this in. This will help set the parameters I have to operate inside of for the piece. Let's go with a square. I want to have that sink just like that. Nah, it's too close. And we can just do a gradient fade here. Have that wash out. Where are we at? 7:35. I just felt energy disappear. I don't know what's up with that. Give me a second here to contemplate my next move. Line, of course. Right, because that's the rail, and this is gunner. Okay, so I think that's a decent color scheme. I can do more of a gradient fade here, a gradient fade here, just to have it blend into the page, just to fade out. But that's not my top priority at the moment. We'll know that once I colorize stuff. Yeah, I think. Gear separate from background. There it is. Gunners. Background. Gun tech, background, how do I want to do? Background, no. Gun tech, yes. Ship. There. Five, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. I see a pattern emerging. Eddie. Yeah, that should be fine. Okay. There's that. There's that. Thank you. And then that. And that is the underest. Actual background. Sorting out my layers here, making sure everything's lining up okay. Okay, let's switch back to our Swarkle. Gunners. Why is that there? There should be a rail. Thank you. Rail. Then gunners. Thank you. That's almost right. Let's fix that. Wait a second. Where are you at? Huh. Nope, that's off. Maybe like that. Still off. Okay, separate layer time. Oof, almost had it. Skew. About like that. 5. That's not a 5 foot space. That's more like 3. 10, 12, 15, 18. It's about 20 feet wide. 20 feet wide, pretty normal. Let's go check out some ships. Actually, let's do it this way. Yeet. Living ships are 20 feet wide. Damsel flies are 20 feet wide. Shrike ships are 20 feet wide. Star Moths 20 feet. Wasp 20 feet. Yeah, I think we're doing okay. My hair looks wilted. Let's see what I need to do. There. Huh, why is that doing that? There we go. That's a why. I hear you. All right. I'm gonna go wrap up here. Skew. Transform. Skew. That feels about right. rail, stairs, floor, more floor. Yeah, all of this is at a slightly wrong angle. So let's merge this down here so we can potentially flatten that out a bit. Let's go with distort. Tug at those angles just a touch. There. Get this railing in line. Kind of like that. Let's get this mast. And where'd my railing go? There it is. Skew. So there's just enough ship stuff going on in the background that you can go, oh yeah, there's ship stuff going on in the background. So you don't have to worry about specifically what ship stuff is going on in the background. But this is enough structure that it grounds them on a thing, which is all we need. I do need to clean that up, and that is not ready to go. But we're steps closer. So we're getting an idea what kind of lighting that we need for this. I need to make sure that these guys, I'm pointing with my fingers like you can see it. I need to get these figures to pop a little bit more. I think I'm going to need I like the wood color that we have going there, but I think the metal that we bring in is going to need to be a brighter, like I think this type of color here is going to work well for us. So far I'm liking this. It's not perfect. That certainly helps by bringing that down. Too close though. If I do that, I can start. Yeah, if I put it there, that'll help frame the flinger. And then we're gonna have an energy effect coming off of the, zoom in a touch. So if I have the mast here, it helps frame the flinger. So if I have a more contrasting color here for the flinger, like without like this, like we can get some of this metal stuff going on here for the drums. And then we can have an energy effect that'll make this radiant onto its, like have its own lighting, so that'll pop more. But yeah, this is a good foundation. So we'll have to clean up the perspective on the wood slats and then blend that down and then do some wood grain effect. I think we can add in star splash across the back, fade out the planks of wood down here down the side. Add in some lighting, shadow effects from the. This will be the major, the energy being kicked out of the Eldritch Cannon will be the major light source in the piece. So we can use that to help create a pop of light. And this will be the last thing that we do. But just give me a hot second here to do this. Now that we have the size of the piece set up, let's do our thirds. Here's the third. That's roughly our thirds. And so when we're looking at a piece, we know the hot spots are on the corners, right? So this being the light source is damn near perfect for that lining up. This being a point of interest and center, also important. If this is the main one, then logically you're going to have something like this, because the orientation is horizontal across the piece. The composition is horizontal, so the hot spots are going to be horizontal from this. So this isn't going to be a big interest down here. But and this won't be an interest because of what we have here, but lighting effects will help. If we do good texturing and lighting effects here, that'll be a hot point. That'll help reinforce the rest of the piece. So having more texture up front here will allow us to then blend out and reduce texture throughout the rest of the piece. And that's our center point here. We'll want to have a lot of contrast for this fellow, the gun versus the background post. The background post is slightly off frame, so I'm going to take this and I'm going to drop that down, and let's go in here. Let's put that there. We can hide our thirds. Now we have this vertical piece literally breaking the third. So if I were to move the stairwell forward, there, bam, that lines up frame there. That's not bad. Feels more appropriate. All right, we'll figure that out. But that's not bad. Ooh, that's not bad. If I work those angles, see, it's just shooting through that line. That's actually pretty cool composition. I'm really happy about that. It's like a fake tangent. That feels pretty fucking good. Obviously we have to clean up the perspective on it, but this is a good framework for us to do that. We know that these guys are in perspective with the railing, so the railing is establishing our line of perspective in the piece, and everything else can like I need to push this line forward like that, so it's more like that. So that'll be the next thing. Yeah, so we can come through. We can fix this, but this is good. I'm happy with this composition. This is going to end up being a pretty cool piece. Oy vey, which probably means it won't be done until Monday or Tuesday. So I can't, so I won't be able to do a mounted weapon and ammunition tear out video, but I can do ship crew, or I can do ship crew, I can do lifestyle, and then I'll have weapons. So I think I'll do lifestyle next. We'll make a short video on the size of ships and the amount of money it costs to be able to maintain a lifestyle for the crew aboard the ship. That's a cool little piece that I can tear out as a separate highlight video that we do on Sundays. So I'm trying to do a highlight video every Sunday until the thing releases. So when it releases, that highlight video becomes a cool stream of promotions for the piece when it publishes overall. So, all right. So that's it for today, guys. Yep, 7:55. We're on the money. So thanks a lot for hanging out with me, guys. I'm going to be back tonight. We'll be back at in about probably like in 11 and a half hours from now this evening to do more Eberron token creature art. And then I'll be back tomorrow morning to do more of this. We'll be back tomorrow at lunch to continue work on the Martial Power System. I'll introduce you to the new tech. As well as we'll keep building out Power Gear, which is the Martial Powers version of magic items for characters to use and gear up with. And then on Saturday we'll have our first exploration into the Ravnica Rubble Belt campaign that we're going to build to playtest the Martial Power System. So if you think any of this stuff is cool, consider liking, subscribing, hitting the bell icon. to help support growth of the stream. And we will be back at this tonight. So I'll see you guys then. Thanks all for hanging out, guys. Thanks, Karen. And yeah, should turn out okay. Anyway, out of here, guys. I'll see you on the other side. Here's our exit. Terminator.